to share something really cool that I've learned. And if you've never joined me before, my name is Jennifer, and I absolutely love luxury designer handbags. It's my hobby to collect them and learn the history about them. Recently, last week, I bought a pre-loved Chanel single flap in caviar. It was a vintage, so it was 10 years old, and I had never had a vintage Chanel bag before. And what I learned was a lot of different things about how to authenticate a vintage Chanel. But what I also got out of that whole thing was that I had this included with the bag. Got this in with the original box, which is unusual to find the box in such good shape. And this came with it. And it looks just like a bunch of pictures. Because I was so caught up in trying to find out if it was an authentic Chanel or not, I never took the time to really read what was in it. So I wanted to share that with you today because I learned that this side had all sorts of writing on it, which I couldn't read because it was different languages. So they inserted one in English, and it was on this waxy piece of paper, which I told you about. And so I thought we'd just have a story time because I think it's really important to know the history of Chanel. It also describes how to take care of your lambskin bags. So what it says is, Chanel, a woman, a name, a legend. Her name was Gabrielle. Her nickname was Mademoiselle, but she will always be known as Coco. By transforming practicality into an aesthetic, she set women free and invented a unique style that is both utterly personal and universally recognized. Elegance means being beautiful both on the inside and out. The fruit of unique craftsmanship that also calls upon only the finest leather and the most noble materials meet Chanel's standards of quality. More than 100 operations, many of them manual, are necessary to bring about, in the end, a perfect leather product. As early as 1930, Mademoiselle Chanel was inspired to create a shoulder bag, thus freeing women's hands and radically changing their allure. She drew inspiration for the early models from soldiers' rucksacks. This bag reached the height of its popularity in February of 1955 with the so-called 2.55 model. With its quilted effect, inspired by stable boys' jackets, eyelets through which the chain strap can be passed, golden turnlock closure, double CC top stitch into the lining, and perfect proportions, the Chanel bag was already destined to become a legend. Each Chanel leather product is unique and comes with an identity card that guarantees its authenticity. The card number is written on the inside of this product. Since 1983, Karl Lagerfeld has been the driving force behind Chanel designs by perpetuating the values so dear to Mademoiselle Chanel: femininity, freedom, audacity, and modernity. His challenge is both to innovate and to surprise. He takes inspiration from the spirit of the times, adopting Goethe's saying, "Make the future better by making the most of the past." He believes that not too much reverence and a touch of himself are essential to the survival of a myth. Each collection is like an aesthetic shock, the surprise of yet another new way of interpreting the Chanel style. I went on to read these books, which come with each Chanel bag. And these are the newer bags, so these is usually tucked at the bottom of each purchase. They have actual pictures of the production process and the different steps that go into the making of a Chanel bag, which I think is really, really cool. So here's some more in the newer books. It's called The Iconic Handbag. Gabrielle Chanel was a visionary who succeeded in firmly establishing her ideal of style, elegance in a word. The style of Chanel has crossed the ages and continues to preserve the codes that forged its success, such as the tweed jacket and the iconic handbag, a daily companion that revolutionized the lives of women. The classic handbag is an icon that has turned heads for more than half a century, earning a legendary reputation in the history of fashion. A small, functional, and perfectly proportioned masterpiece by Mademoiselle Chanel, the classic handbag displays an elegant, sleek design that never goes out of fashion. This inimitable bag defines time, appeals to each new generation and is imbued with its own personal story, securing a place in the legacy of fashion Instantly recognizable, it proudly claims its difference with intelligence and luxury, meeting a woman's every need. Its innovative diamond-shaped straight-stitched quilting gives the handbag a pleasing, comfortable weight and ensures impeccable style. When worn on the shoulder, it adapts perfectly to the shape of a woman's body and becomes an intimate friend of the wearer. The iconic and liberating Chanel metal chain, either interlaced with leather strips or dazzling with jeweled links, is slipped into 4 eyelets. The chain itself is a work of an expert, neither too tight nor too loose. It feels supple and alive, free to be worn short over the shoulder or longer, caressing the hip. Its turnlock closure, also known as the Mademoiselle closure or the version stamped with the interlocking double C, offers the crowning touch to this leather classic. The pockets are an essential part of the handbag and equally of Mademoiselle Chanel's practical philosophy. In all, 7 pockets offer their services. The back pocket with its slightly upturned lines is known as Mona Lisa's smile, while the inside gusseted pockets hold business cards and notepads. The clever little pocket in the middle is designed for a lipstick. The zippered pocket on the flap, playfully nicknamed the secret pocket, is just the place to hide love letters. And because she knew it was easier to pick out items against a colored background, Mademoiselle Chanel chose to line it with burgundy fabric before signing her work with a discreet top-stitched double C on the flap. Today there are a multitude of classic handbags available in a range of different materials. The original was created from soft lambskin, which offers the purest, smoothest grain. Firm yet extremely supple, each handbag is cut from the highest quality leather and vat dyed for long periods to ensure a sensual finish. Grain calfskin is the material of choice for the active woman. This finely textured supple leather, known as caviar in Chanel, is naturally elegant and ideal for everyday use. A vintage alternative is calfskin with a patina-like sheen, created using a tanning technique that has been specifically perfected by Chanel. The classic handbag is just as well dressed in jersey or ready-to-wear tweed. This iconic handbag, an emblem of a brand synonymous with luxury and savoir-faire, is worthy of the respect it receives. From cutting to finishing, the bag requires 180 steps, so it's 180 steps, not 100, that are mastered down to the nearest millimeter. The expert hands of Chanel master leather workers are what bring this exceptional handbag to life. Following Mademoiselle Chanel's principle that the inside should be as beautiful as the outside, the handbag is assembled inside out, and the lining is designed as a bag within a bag. Then it is delicately turned out to avoid damaging any leather or fabric lining or fabric fibers. Designed for life's every moment, the iconic handbag comes in different sizes: 3 with the Mademoiselle closure and 4 with the double C closure. A combination of perfect craftsmanship and superb functionality, the iconic handbag is a timeless accessory that transcends the ephemeral nature of fashion, to be enjoyed for years or bestowed upon someone special. So I thought that just the reading of this history, I could just read this all the time. They have wonderful pictures of just the making of a Chanel handbag and all the steps that go into it. And I wish that I had taken the time in the past to actually look at all of these amazing 180 steps that are involved in the making of a Chanel classic flap. The next thing I'd like to do is I go ahead and I'm going to show you how I learned to store my classic flaps, because in my previous videos you know that what I've done before is I just hang them in my closet and then I can grab them and go. And I learned that when I bought another handbag, it was pre-loved. It was the Christian Dior Lady Dior medium in black, and I bought her pre-loved from a seller on eBay. Beautiful bag, but it was older and there was actually dust, and you really can't get rid of it, but dust will settle. So it is important to store these really investment pieces. So why don't we start with this one. This is the white dust bag that came with my small medium classic flap in lambskin. The dust bag opens kind of like a pillowcase, and we're allowed to put the chains in the upper so that the chains do not touch the delicate lambskin. There's a picture of Coco Chanel and Karl Lagerfeld's signature. And what I do is I put the bag on the inside and the chains on the upper part. To store her, what I do is I will actually put felt under this flap, because the secret pocket, this zipper pull, will actually indent and mark that right there. So you can see how I didn't used to store her with the felt, and what happens is you get a mark where the zipper pull was right there. And I also put another felt here so that this can go right in here, and it also doesn't hurt the lambskin around the snap. Some people put their authenticity cards in here. I don't. I just keep it with the original box. And there she goes in there. And then, so that these straps don't hurt this lambskin, I just drop her into this upper pouch here. So the bag's in here, and I drop the chains right down in there. And then I just close the bag over so that the chains don't touch the lambskin. This is my mini rectangular in lambskin with H-gold hardware. So I put the dust bag over. This dust bag was really interesting. It actually is a flap dust bag, which I thought was really nice. So I was able to protect the chains up here, and this actually has its own little flap. So how I did this one is I will take it, it only opens on one side. And there she is. And so I put felt here. There's no worry about the zipper here. And so I just protected this like that. And then I don't want the chain to be resting. With the minis, you can actually put the majority of the chain inside. So I just took the chain and then dropped the majority of it inside, the majority of the chain inside the bag. You put the felt here. And then you just close. There's a special dust bag within the dust bag. So the majority of the chain is tucked inside the mini rectangular. I slip her right in here first. And I lift the chain and I tuck this through the chain so that nothing's touching the bag, and the chain is just left out so that nothing touches the lambskin. Then you could just take her and then put her in the other dust bag. There you go. So that way you don't get dust. Even if you don't realize there's dust, there's always dust, and it kind of settles in all those little cracks and crevices. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoy these bags very much, and I want to keep them as much in good condition as I can through the years. Now that I know the history and the workmanship behind each piece is 180 steps. So I hope you all have a great weekend, and I'll see you again in my next video.